Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We've never introduced ourselves. I'm Steve.
Jamie.
And I'm her father-in-law.
Yeah.
She is my
daughter-in-law.
Married to my
son.
Perfect. Now it makes perfect sense now. As if you couldn't figure that all out from the beginning.
That's fair.
But here we are. AJ's in the background, just hanging out. Cher, our executive producer, decided that she did not want to be in the video tonight, so she is departed. Tonight, we have Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C920. Paul sent us, and we've already done the burn. Jamie was not impressed with that part.
That was rough.
So she's going to go ahead and play what Paul had for us, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
Going in here to the number 4th position is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This particularly is batch C920. So if you follow it, there's usually an A, a B, or a C. This is usually the months of September of 2020. Barrel Proof is really strong from Elijah Craig. This is going to slap your taste buds.
Slap your taste buds, Paul said.
That's a great way to describe what I just experienced.
And I think it did.
My taste buds have been officially slapped.
It done smacked her up silly.
Yeah.
So there was something I was thinking about. Oh, so this is day 4, really on day 5. But we missed yesterday because Jamie and AJ got their COVID booster Friday?
Friday, yeah.
Saturday was not a good day.
Saturday was a bit
Yesterday
rough.
is a bad day.
Yeah.
They woke up this morning.
Good to go.
Rip roaring ready to go.
Yep.
And she's like, let's do this. And I figured we better wait till tonight. So we're on day number 4. We showed Paul did the 4 for us. Elijah Craig, barrel proof. Entry point for the barrel is 125% alcohol, or 62.5% alcohol by volume. The bottle proof as it came out is actually increased from there at 132.8. It's 12 years old.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that impressive?
That is very
You
impressive.
just are so excited. You just want to drink this and just make magic happen with your...
I'm very excited.
Please focus on Jamie's face at this point because this is the highest proof stuff that she's had so far.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. A little better. Still a little rough.
It's still a little rough.
It's pretty strong.
Swirl, swirl, swirl.
Swirl, swirl, swirl.
Paul told us
Smell,
swirl,
smell.
swirl, swirl, smell, swirl, smell, drink.
So you're going to get a snootful of the alcohol on this because
That wow,
high
that's
proof.
like straight rubbing alcohol.
So when we were touring, when Cher and I were touring some of the distilleries,
Yeah.
they would open up the tanks and you could see the mash in there and you could see the yeast and all the bubbles that were bubbling and boiling. And people were going in, it was like they were going in to take a deep sniff of a bread factory. And they put their head over top of the hopper and it was just like straight burn.
Yeah.
And people would throw their heads back. Like, don't do that.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, weird after note that I smell because the first couple seconds it's just straight rubbing alcohol, but there is ever so slight cherry that I'm smelling.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it took a second though. I had to smell it several times, and then I was like, "Hold on, what was that?" And I felt like it was cherry, just a little bit.
I'm still getting some vanilla in there for sure. I don't get a whole lot more than that though. And I don't know if it's because, it's later in the day, we just had pizza,
Sure.
right? So maybe our taste is off a little bit.
Yeah, that's really all I get is rubbing alcohol and cherry.
I'm not getting a lot, but I like it. But I'm a big fan of Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig comes from Heaven Hill Distillery. I was calling it Heaven's Hill the other night. I don't know why I was doing that. But on this video, I will put some great pictures of Heaven Hill Distillery at the end. Beautiful place. Highly recommend going there to check it out. They also produce Larceny. I've got a picture of Cher and I in front of in the tasting room Evan Williams. They also produce Evan Williams. They produce a really good eggnog too.
Oh.
And then they've got some stuff that I've never tried before. I cannot remember the name of it, but I'm telling you what, it was god awful. It was bad. It's like, I don't know, podunk corn or some stuff like that. They're not going to be happy with me by butchering it, first of all, but it was really bad. God awful.
I was about to say, all you need to know is apparently don't drink it.
I think it's one of those things like grain alcohol, like for when you're in college, you don't really care how bad it is.
Sure.
You just
whatever's cheapest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's yummy. Jamie's not a fan, but
I don't love the intensity.
I think you'll like this. So Paul had a really good suggestion. I tried this with Jamie the other day, but because of the high proof of the alcohol on this one, we're going to give it a little drop of water. Basically what you're doing is you're proofing it down. By adding a little bit of water, you're lowering the proof. So this comes out of the barrel at such and such a proof, and if they need it down to say 80 proof, it's basically just adding some water to it. So we're just going to add a couple of drops of water.
Okay.
Very unsophisticated because we don't have droppers. Swirl that around a little bit. And I'll be curious to see if you feel there's any difference to it. Still warm going down.
Mm-hmm. Very.
It lets you know it's there.
Oh yeah. I feel like this is one of those, the phrase, it'll put a hair on your chest. That's this.
Be curious. Now the big question will be, is it different because we added a couple drops of water, or is it different because your taste buds and your tongue has become accustomed
got used to it? Yeah.
You didn't shudder as much this time.
I think my taste buds are just used to it.
And now you love it, don't you?
Love's a strong word.
I know it is, but
the first two,
sometimes you just got to commit.
I know. Maybe now I will tell you, interestingly enough, I taste more than rubbing alcohol now than I did before. Now I'm getting some of the vanilla that you were talking about in the taste. I still don't smell the vanilla though, which is what's weird. No. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's just like my head, like my mind is made up that I smell cherry, and so that's what I'm smelling when I drink it, but that's literally all.
Well, you know, here's the cool thing about it. We're not going to like every bourbon that Paul sent.
No.
Or whiskey or bourbon or whatever, because he's got quite a mix. We're not going to like it. And, you know, everybody's got their own taste. Yeah. And, you know, everybody's got their own scent.
This is like a really nice one, though. I feel like I should like this one, and I don't know if I do. I
think right now it's the proof of it, because it's such a high proof whiskey that you're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Or bourbon. All right, so bourbon, whiskey, right? What's the difference between bourbon and whiskey?
All bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons.
Yes, she's been taught well. And what makes it bourbon?
Oh, now you're asking questions that I don't know the answer to.
This really is an easy one, and you'll remember it forever.
Okay.
You got to remember. So, you know, you think back hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. These guys were not Rhodes Scholars putting this stuff together.
Right.
They just weren't. Right.
It's fair.
They kept things simple. They knew what they liked. They did it by taste. And the mash is just nothing more than a mixture of grains.
Right.
Right. So you've got corn, wheat, barley, rice. Could have rice in there. So in order for it to be bourbon, it has to be at least 51% corn.
Oh, that's the only difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the other, like if you go to Jack Daniel's, for example, I don't remember exactly what their mash is, but I'm positive it's not 51% because it's not a bourbon.
It's not a bourbon,
Tennessee
it's a whiskey. Yeah.
But if it's at 51% or more, it's considered a bourbon.
Interesting.
And then they mix up the other grains depending on, maybe they're more barley. Sometimes the next one we're going to try is 1792, which is more of a wheated whiskey, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, bourbon.
Okay.
So, anyways,
Okay.
So you don't love this.
I don't love it. It's not bad. This is not one that I think I would ever pull out to try to drink straight.
Fair.
Yeah.
Would you drink it on the rocks?
Now that is a good question, because I think part of my problem that I have found is like alcohol straight that's room temperature just kind of sucks sometimes, but when you put it on ice, it doesn't suck so bad. So I could possibly enjoy this on ice.
It doesn't suck so bad because it is changing the whole
Yeah.
complexion of it by adding just a little bit of water.
Right.
So there's the purists out there that say you have to drink it neat, which is just straight out of the glass, out of the bottle. Some say you should drink it on the rocks.
Yeah.
I say you drink it whatever way you like it. If
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
if it's in a, what have we been drinking?
Old
Fashions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a Manhattan, or a whole slew of things.
Yeah.
Drink it how you like it. Find out what you like. Taste
Yeah.
it and go with it. I'm a big fan. She will be too by the time we're all said and done with all this. I'm going to
That's
go
fair.
buy a bottle, and when we're done at the end, we're going to drink some more of this. So that's it on the... so I got the COVID brain still. I lose track of where I'm going.
Yeah.
Elijah Craig.
Elijah Craig.
Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. So here's an interesting thing I learned while we were down at Heaven Hill Distillery. Did you know that Elijah Craig was the first to use charred barrels?
I did
Mr.
not know
Elijah
that.
Craig. He was. Now, there's supposedly some story about there was an accidental fire in a barn and it caught the barrels on fire, which I just really wasn't buying any
Why
of that.
does it always seem like there's this like crazy dramatic story that contributes to this? It's like, couldn't it just be like, yeah, so I just thought this would be kind of cool, so I tried it?
I think it's partly because it's sometimes in the hills of Kentucky where they had already been drinking moonshine when they're doing all this stuff, right? And getting a little crazy. I just find it really hard to believe that a barrel was sitting upright in an accidental fire and it just charred the inside of the barrel and didn't do much to the outside, right?
The fire's on the outside.
Yeah, so that's the rumor, or that's the story. But apparently he was the first one to use charring of barrels, which is why it's now brown and not white. Goes in white, comes out brown. We'll talk about that next episode.
What?
I know. So we're going to do a double. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to, we're really not, we just have a couple glasses. We don't have much to work with here. It's low production budget. Next one is going to be, I got to look at the list. Oh, 1792. I love 1792.
You said this was the wheat heavy one,
This
right?
is the wheat, sweet wheat. So you're gonna be a little bit sweeter than what we had here, but it's completely different because it's got a heavier makeup of wheat. Still got 51% corn,
Sure.
but the second ingredient is more wheat.
Got it.
That's where we're going with that. It's a very informal, low budget.
Yes.
We're just having fun with this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do some editing when we're done and get Jamie's initial reaction when she first put this in.
Yeah.
This is the bottle. This is day number 5, which is the 1792 sweet wheat. So it's going to be a little bit sweeter. It's really a little more heavy on the wheat. When you're mixing with a rye, I think I said rice earlier. I really meant to say rye. Rye, rice, I don't know.
Same difference.
I know somebody will call me out for that. So anyways, I think this is going to be a little bit smoother for you. It's not going to be quite as harsh. I don't know what I don't think I have.
Does it have
the
on there
notes here?
how old it is?
It's probably not that old. The 1792 is not producing really old stuff. So there was no notes on here from Paul, and I didn't look it up. So I'm not 100% sure. I just know I like 1792 a lot.
Okay.
When I go out to different places, I take advantage of the fact that they have bourbon
Yeah.
at the bar. Like we went to Moxie's,
Yeah.
right? And that's where I had Whistle Pig
That's right.
for the first time. So it's not something that I would tend to go out and buy a whole bottle of.
Okay.
Because that gets really expensive to buy something that you don't like. Crap. So yeah, sweet wheat. So we're gonna swirl it. We're gonna give her a good old sniffer. Oh, that smells I think you're gonna like this. So when you take it in, make sure it crosses from the front of your tongue, passes all the way through, because you've got 3 different portions of taste buds, right? Not just 3 different portions of your taste buds, but it's going to hit you 3 different times. It's going to give you a different flavor up front, give you something in the middle, and then the finish is going to be something completely different. 1792. It did not make you wince.
No, and I'm very earthy.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Very earthy. Holy cow.
Look at the legs still on it, still growing down the
Holy
glass.
Cow.
There. Yeah, it's a little more sweet, obviously.
Is the wheat what's making me have those earthy tones to it, though?
Yeah, probably.
Huh.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? It's kind of cool trying 2 back to back.
Yeah. Because they're drastically different.
Drastically different. 1792, I wouldn't ever have a problem going in and ordering this and drinking it neat.
What's interesting so maybe, and this could just be me smelling it this way, but ironically, like what I'm smelling is almost like sweet flowers.
Does have some flowery smell to it.
Okay, so I'm not imagining the floral.
No, you're
yeah,
gonna get
it's like
that.
Sweet flowers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at some of the tasting notes that I found online today. Notes of vanilla and caramel, complemented by a touch of white oak tannins, further mingled with dried fruit to deliver a rich, smooth flavor, is the tasting notes from this one.
I don't really get any caramel. I can see where the vanilla is coming from. I don't get any caramel, though. Yeah, it's that, like, just flowers.
So you got to remember that this bourbon is picking up its flavor from the barrel, right? So as we mentioned before, it goes in white moonshine.
Sure.
Comes out brown because of
the char.
Right. So that's why it's also picking up. You said toasted marshmallow the other night, and Hamilton got super excited about that. Paul's son Hamilton saw the video and
saw that Diggy said that it smelled like toasted marshmallow, and he said, well, Daddy, I want to smell toasted marshmallow as well. So Paul went and got a little bit of the Penelope and put it in a glass for Hamilton to smell. Of course, he did not smell the same toasted marshmallow that Diggy did, but that's kind of what prompted that.
Yeah, so Diggy is actually her nickname.
Yeah.
It's her family nickname, just as an FY, because there are like 3 people that are watching this that are not our family members.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
right?
Okay,
so they need
sorry.
To know that. And Hamilton, first of all, it's past your bedtime. 2, this one smells like Brussels sprouts.
There you go. It's terrible. You won't like it.
You don't want
terrible.
this. All right, now go to bed. Okay, Paul. Okay, so this is really good.
I know. This is very good. I would drink this straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a really good sipping bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
You could sit and just chew on this for
the legs
hours.
On this are insane.
Right? It's almost,
look at those.
Almost seems syrupy a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
But the consistency when you drink it is not syrupy. Like I'm not getting like a thickness.
It's not thick. Like,
no.
It's awful. No.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. This one's a fun one. I was really excited when I saw Paul's list of these 2 back to back, because I'm a big Elijah Craig fan, big 1792 fan. There's a lot on here that I have no idea. I've never heard of. I'm excited to try. Some of these I've tried, and I'm excited for Jamie to try. And we'll see where this all goes. So what else did we have to talk about?
I think that's it today.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we've tried to cover 2. We'll try to get one in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be. Oh, we've got 2 in a row from High West.
Ooh.
So I wonder how we should do that. Maybe we should wait a day and do both of those side by side. So we're trying High West. What do you think? Or you think we should do one tomorrow and one the next day? Well, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
If it
TBD.
shows up, you know.
TBD.
Right? So we've got 2 different offerings from High West coming in. One's a bourbon rye blend, one's a finished rye. So the rye is going to give you more of a peppery flavor on the finish. It's gonna be a little more heat in there, not the alcohol heat. It's just going to be a completely different heat. And how you doing over there?
Good. Very good.
Let's see. You know what I tried today while we're finishing this? We were at Bourye and Bourye, a restaurant in Denton, Texas today, and I had a bacon-infused bullet bourbon.
How was that?
With maple syrup as the sweetener.
Oh, we're getting real crafty over there.
Well, you know, they know their way to a diabetic's heart, don't they?
It's just what every diabetic needs.
Here, let's put a little
Sweetener,
maple syrup in.
Maple syrup. It'll be fine.
It was weird. It was kind of strange to have bacon in a bourbon, but in a good way. I'm still
Was it okay? So you know how sometimes you go to like fancy brunch restaurants and they'll have like whiskey or bourbon infused syrup? Did it give that kind of a vibe?
Kind of felt like that.
Okay.
More than a real infusion, but I don't know. I don't know how they do it. And we'll talk one of these nights during the next few weeks. We'll talk about infused bourbon because I started infusing our own with pecans.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's sick good. So
Yeah.
we'll actually, maybe we'll do a tasting of that one of these nights too. That would be fun. Or we'll just, you know what we'll do? We'll put it in an old fashioned while we taste, and then we'll finish off with the old fashioned. Perfect.
Love it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Print check the gate.
We're having a great time. Hope you guys are too. Have a great night, and we will hope to see you soon. Thanks.
Bye, guys.